Welcome back. If you're just joining us, you're watching the News at 10 live on Channels Television. A reminder of our top stories. President Buhari says Nigeria has gained infrastructure projects worth $5 billion from partnership deals with China in the last 2 years. Inspector General of Police Ibrahim Idris orders arrest and detention of officers who carried out search on the home of elder statesman Edwin Clark. Former Senate President David Mark promises to turn Nigeria's economy around in 2 years as he picks PDP presidential nomination form. And 6 persons are killed and several others injured as Typhoon Jebi hits Japan, the strongest natural disaster to hit the Asian country in 25 years. Now, channelstv.com has more information for you, and on YouTube/Channels Web, you can also watch our videos. You can also watch us on your mobile device via your browser or download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS, and Windows devices from their respective stores. Besides giving you access to news updates on the go, the Channels TV and Channels 24 apps have an eyewitness feature that you can use to share pictures, videos, or news of happenings around you. Just install the app, then tap and swipe to reveal the menu, and then follow. Members of the All Progressives Congress in Borno State have rejected the direct primary election directive by the National Executive Committee of the party. The state chairman of the party and some stakeholders from the various wards in the state unanimously voted to adopt indirect primaries for all elective offices in the state. They say they rely on the party's constitution, which states that either of the direct, indirect, or consensus method can be adopted for primaries at all levels.
Gathered in this hall are stakeholders of the All Progressives Congress in Borno State, with the state chairman presiding over the meeting.
The National Executive Committee.
In attendance are 3 serving senators, APC caucus members of the House of Representatives, Speaker of the State House of Assembly, and party leaders at all levels. Representing the Borno State governor at the meeting is the Deputy Governor Usman Dorkwa. Members of the party are not happy with a directive from the national leadership of the APC that all candidates seeking elective offices will emerge through indirect primaries.
The State Executive Committee should, in each state, identify and agree among themselves and mode of election to be applied in their states. It is on this ground I invited the critical stakeholders to join hands with the State Executive Committee to decide which option to adopt in their state.
Other opinion leaders aligned themselves with the position of their leader, citing the peculiarity of the security situation in Borno State as the reason that the direct primary will not work for them. Senator Aline Dume moves for the advisors to put a vote. The indirect primaries is put to vote and supported by the stakeholders who voted unanimously for its adoption in statewide primaries. Those seeking elective positions are happy with this decision and are hopeful that this will pave way for transparent elections in the state.
Based on the peculiarities of Borno, it's a welcome development for us women. It will give us a free and fair primary election. It's an opportunity for us to come out en masse.
One of the reasons given by members of the party for the adoption of indirect primaries is that Borno State does not have the party register at the National Secretariat and in the various local wards in the state.
And while politicians in Borno are against the system to adopt for the primaries, some women in Dutse, the capital of Jigawa State, are demanding for a full opportunity to participate in the 2019 elections. The women who took their protest to the State House of Assembly say that in spite of their contributions to the success of every candidate, women are not well represented in socio-political and economic sectors. They are also demanding for a legislation on child and drug abuse.
Well represented in socio-political and economic sectors, women aspirants are to be given full opportunities and support to contest for and occupy at least 40% in governance. Message number 2, women participation in decision making, provide more opportunities for women in decision making positions in political and civil service, executive council, chairpersons and members of boards, elected councils, and state and LGA levels. Our message is violence against women and girls is a crime against humanity. There should be laws and policies in place that is enforcement to protect the dignity of women and girls and promote their self-esteem and privilege.
In Delta State, some youth leaders from Uroboland have added their voices to the call for the re-election of Governor Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi in the 2019 elections. The group says one of its reasons for endorsing the governor for a second term is to help maintain the rotational agreement amongst the 3 senatorial districts in the state.
It's less than 6 months to the general elections, and political parties are already gearing up with party members and groups endorsing their candidates. The latest is coming from Uroboland, a tribe in Delta State. They want Governor Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi to be re-elected, insisting on the maintenance of the zoning formula.
We are here to call on all Urobo to support our governor, Senator Dr. Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi, to complete the 8 years of the Delta North Electoral District as governor of Delta State.
It shows clearly that the governor, has performed. If you go around Delta State today, Delta State is like a construction site. You see work going on in every nook and cranny of Delta State. Ugwuanyi has performed. He has delivered on projects across the state, and beside that, he has also delivered, in governance.
At another meeting with members of the People's Democratic Party, Governor Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi believes the PDP will win in the coming election, given the various developmental projects done across the state by the present administration.
We are very strong as a people. We are very strong as a party. We have been united and will continue to stay united. God is the source of our strength. That the unity of our party people in Delta State is unquestionable. That because we have God as our strength and we are together and we continue to stay together, there is no shaking.
As the build-up to the polls thickens, the attention shifts to the electorate in Delta State, who holds the power to decide who governs the state for the next 4 years.
And some of us are very happy about it.
And now time to move to our Abuja studios, where Gloria Ume-Ezeoke is waiting with more stories. Hi, Gloria.
Hello, Ladi. Good to see you. The federal government has flagged off another empowerment program for 30,000 petty traders drawn from across Osun State. The initiative, tagged Trader Money, which was inaugurated by the Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, on Monday, is in collaboration with the Bank of Industry. Under the arrangement, each beneficiary received the sum of 10,000 naira to boost their businesses. The Vice President explains that the first phase of the Trader Money Empowerment Program is targeting about 2 million petty traders across the country.
This crowd could be taken for supporters at a political rally, but they are traders excited over the launch of the federal government's microcredit scheme, tagged Trader Money in Osun State. 30,000 of them will be benefiting from 2 million naira collateral-free loan, designed to enable traders all over the country expand their businesses. According to the federal government, the initiative is in line with its drive to take financial inclusion to petty traders who ordinarily cannot get credits from commercial banks. So far, 10,000 people have been registered through their mobile phones, after which they're eligible to go to the approved bank for payment.
In the first run, we're doing 2 million petty traders across the country. Here in Osun State, we're doing 30,000, with a minimum of 30,000. And we started, as you've seen today, with giving several of them 10,000 naira. If they're able to pay back within a 6-month period, we open a bank account for them and then they get 15,000. Thereafter, they get 20,000.
Speaking in Yoruba language, the state governor praises the efforts of the federal government to bring to fruition some of the plans to improve the lives of those at the grassroots. The credit scheme is designed for petty traders whose inventories fall within the range of about 2,000 to 5,000 naira. Those like this woman who've received their 10,000 naira testify to the impact it's having on their trade.
The government has been kind to us by giving us 10,000 naira. I used to buy cola nuts to sell in the markets, and I have made some profits. May this government never fail.
In the coming days, more traders will be registered until the 30,000 limit for the state is reached. The federal government says the scheme is not new, having been introduced over 2 years ago. But the focus on the poorest traders is a new direction aimed at bringing millions of Nigerians out of poverty.
The federal government will demolish all structures under the power lines in the country in line with the government policy which prohibits building of houses under power lines. The managing director of the Nigerian Electricity Management Service Agency, Engineer Pt.2, says electricity distribution companies and the Transmission Company of Nigeria have begun the demolition of such structures across the country. Engineer Enweso, who is also the Chief Electrical Inspector of the Federation, explains that state governments have inaugurated committees to remove such structures.
Federal government has made a policy of ensuring that all infrastructures, buildings and structures within the right of way are actually removed. But as a first step of the policy is to ensure that all those infrastructure that are within the right of way, either within or under the power transmission lines, are first and foremost disconnected. And since after the policy, we have followed up with the DISCOs and the Transmission Company of Nigeria to ensure that as a first step, these premises are disconnected to deter them from continuing to stay under the line. And a lot of state governments are setting up committees to ensure that even beyond the disconnection of these premises from the power supply system, that they are equally going to be removed. And these committees are already working, and they are going to ensure that these premises are eventually going to be removed from under the line.
When the News at 10 returns, new reports on Nigeria's manufacturing index reflects economic expansion at fastest pace since January this year. That's after the break. John Seeger.